Alright everybody, it's Chad again from Sticks Vlog. This is going to be the last part of this video for right now that I want to do. Earlier in the first video I kind of just showed you a little bit about the pack when I unboxed it. The video I just shot a while ago showed you wearing the pack and just kind of some of the features and what it looked like wearing it. And on this one I just want to show you unloading the pack basically. And like I said, I'm going to have to play with it for a while, see where things go, what feels better. Quite honestly, wearing the pack a while ago, it felt great compared to my other pack, just considering it was lighter. Like I say, with all the gear, not counting consumables, which is food, water, and fuel, according to my list, I've got 16 pounds. Maybe just a little bit less because there's some things, I mean like an ounce or two less maybe. But it's just figure 16 pounds. With the water, I've got 4 pounds of water in this 2-liter platy bottle. And then with this water here, that's about a pound and a half. So, let's see, a pound and a half and 4. So about 5.5 pounds of water. And then I've got roughly 5.5 pounds of food that I just, I've got a couple of like Mountain House meals. And then I just put a couple of other things inside my food bag to, you know, make up the weight on it. And then for my fuel, I've got roughly 12-13 ounces of fuel, counting the fuel bottles. So all that together, I'm looking at about 27-28 pounds. So I'm happy with that. But anyway, just kind of want to show you unpacking it. First off, I'm going to take this water out. And like I said, I'm not going to use this water in these side pockets. I'm just going to have to figure out what system works for me. I'm going to go ahead and take that out. And then over here in this side pocket, I'll show you some things that I have. I had just my gloves. I want those where I can get to them easily in case I want to wear them while I'm hiking or put them up while I'm hiking. And then I've got, these are my MLB event mittens. I can use over them. And then in this pocket I've got my teeth. I got them in 2 different bottles. And that's all in that pocket. Let's see, in this hip pocket I've got one of the Trails Illustrated maps for the Great Smoky Mountains. And then in this pocket over here I've got my Cuban fiber rain cover and my cloud kilt. And I'm going to do a whole other video on this and talk to you about it. It's a really neat piece of gear, but I'll get to it later. And that's all in that. Now then my front pouch here, I've got my rain jacket. This is one thing that I'm going to be going lighter on, smaller on, once I can afford to get another jacket. But actually this one's brand new. I've only used it in the field about twice. It's a Sierra Designs Cyclone Eco jacket. It was actually because of a swamp. Next I've got my OES tarp. That's my tarp and all my guy lines in there. And I like to have my shelter on the outside of the pack because when I get to camp, that's the first thing I want to do is set up my shelter. I've got my groundhog stakes, and I've got the 2 mil painter's, just a piece of plastic. I use that as a ground cloth, and it's big enough for 2 people. So that's all on the outside of the pack. You see on the inside, on the very top, I got my 1/8 inch Gossamer Gear thin light pad. Put that over there, and then we'll open it up. I do like this roll top closure. I like the way it cinches down on the side. It kind of compresses it down and actually a little bit back. So that makes it kind of neat. It rolls up really easy. I like that. Now on the very top I've got my clothes, and the reason I'm probably going to change that just a little bit, but I've got my sleeping clothes in here. My sleeping clothes are probably shoved in the bottom of the with my sleeping bag, but I've got my synthetic liner in there, so if I ever come to a camp and I want to put that on or something, or if I'm taking lunch and I want to put that on, I got it right up in the top where I can get to it. And also my jacket, that's going to be replaced too with a much lighter, much smaller jacket. Now inside I've got just a pack cloth I'm going to use for if I have to wipe down the tin or anything, or my tarp or anything like that. I've got that. I've got my Kopilka cup. And then I've got my tea kettle, my stove, and all that inside there. And then I've got my sleeping pad, my Neo Air with the stuff sack. I love this thing. Awesome. I've got my Cocoon Ultralight Air Core pillow. And I've got my REI long handle spoon. This is awesome if you're eating out of bags. plan on doing because I don't want to wash bowls. Got some Aquamir, and I'll probably, depending on how my water system goes, I'll probably end up keeping this somewhere outside the pack where I can get to it. Because if I'm going to be drinking out of these bottles, I'll probably just refill pretty occasionally, put this in and let it be getting clean and good for me while I'm walking. Anyway, Aquamir. And then I've got a sundries kit. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this in there because it's got my first aid type stuff, and it's got my headlamp and stuff like that in there. I'm not really sure. I'm not planning on needing to have it immediately while I'm on the trail, but you never know. But I think for the most part I can leave it inside the pack, but I'm just going to see how that goes. Next I've got these two meals here. Still haven't ate this one. I'm going to soon. Just some meals in here. And then I've got roughly 4.5 pounds of food in this bag, just various kinds of food. And this will actually be my food bag that I'm going to be using. And then other than that, really that's it. From about here down is my sleeping pad, and of course it'll compress, my sleeping bag, and of course it'll compress much smaller than that. But I'm using it to kind of fill a void, using it to just fill up the tank so it'll be full when I'm packing it. They say it rides better when it's filled up rather than trying to compress it down too small. Also in here I've got my ink pen and my notebook, and that was actually in the little zipper pouch there. And then my sleeping bag, and I've just got it in a garbage bag, and I just shove it down in the bottom of my pack, and I let it fill up, and then I push it down and I start piling stuff on top of it. But that's pretty much everything I got in there. That's everything I'm going to need. I can't really think right off anything that I'm not including in this pack for me to use as a winter setup. And like I say, with roughly 5.5 pounds of water, 5.5 pounds of food, and then about 12-13 ounces of fuel, I'm looking at roughly 28, maybe 29 at the most, but possibly even just a little bit less. I have to figure it all up. I don't have a scale to weigh everything on. I have to weigh all the small stuff and then add it together. But anyway, that's me unpacking the pack. So far I do like it. I'm going to have to play with it a little bit more and get used to the style packing, or get used to packing it, because in a lightweight pack, that's key to carrying a load, is how you load it. Also, I'm going to swap out this hip belt and see how it does with the medium on that. But anyway, let me pull this out. It's my more knife there. But anyway, that's everything. I don't know if I've really helped anybody making decisions about this, or really showed anybody anything that's just like super new or super cool, but maybe I'm just trying to learn myself, and I figured I'd document it as I go. So that's it. Whenever I get used to it a little bit more, I'll do another review and let everybody know how I like it then. Anyway, thank you for watching.